We live in an age of infinite noise. Our homes are full, but our spirits are empty. Every single day we wake up and fight a silent war against clutter. We fight against the notifications that demand our attention. We fight against the piles of objects that demand our space. And honestly, most of us are losing this war. We are drowning in things we don't need, bought with money we don't have, to impress people we don't even like. In the West, we are taught that more is the only path to success, that an empty room is a sign of poverty. But in Japan, the ancient masters understood a different truth. They knew that clarity does not come from adding to your life. It comes from subtracting everything that is not you. When my life felt overwhelming, when I could unthink clearly because my environment was shouting at did I need a vacation? I needed a complete reset. I turned to the principles of the concept of negative space and Danshari, art of refusal. I adopted 7 specific habits that didn't just clean my room. They reset my entire existence overnight. These are not just cleaning tips. They are a survival strategy for the modern soul. Habit number 1, Oubaitori. The concept is simple. The cherry blossom does not compare itself to the plum blossom. It just blooms. Look at us. Scroll through screens for hours, comparing our chaotic behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel. I realized that half of the clutter in my home wasn't there because I needed it. It was there because I was trying to construct an identity. I was buying clothes, gadgets, and furniture to prove I was successful, to prove I was worthy. This is a trap. I stopped buying things to impress invisible ghosts. I asked myself, if no one could see this, would I still own it? When you remove comparison, you remove half of your clutter immediately. Habit number 2, Soji. In the West, we view cleaning as a chore, something dirty to be finished quickly. In Japan, specifically in Zen practice, cleaning is Soji. It is a meditation. It is an act of respecting your environment. The monks believe that if the ground you stand on is chaotic, your mind will be chaotic. You cannot have a clear thought in a dirty room. So I stopped waiting for cleaning day. Instead, I started resetting my floor every single morning. Before I check my phone, before I drink my coffee, I sweep. It's not just about dust. It's about wiping the slate clean. It signals to your brain, I am in control of my domain. Habit number 3, the one-touch rule. Procrastination is just fear disguised as laziness. We put things down on the chair or the counter because we tell ourselves, I'll do it later. But later is a lie. Later is where clutter goes to die. I adopted the one-touch rule. It is ruthless. It means you never touch an item twice to put it away. If you take off your coat, you do not put it on the couch. You put it on the hanger immediately. If you wash a dish, you dry it and shelf it. Immediately. This sounds small, but it kills the doom piles before they can even form. It stops the backlog of life from crushing you. Habit number 4, respect the Genkan. The entryway is the mouth of the home. It is the barrier between the chaos of the outside world and the sanctuary of your inner world. Look at your entryway right now. Is it cluttered? Are there shoes everywhere? If the entrance is blocked, the energy cannot flow. I realized that walking into a mess was setting the tone for my entire evening. I removed everything from my door except one pair of shoes. Now, when I walk in, I bow internally. I leave the stress of the world at the door. I do not drag the chaos inside with me. Habit number 5, Kintsugi. We are addicted to the new. If something breaks, we trash it. If something gets old, we replace it. The cycle is endless, and it keeps us broke and dissatisfied. I adopted the mindset of Kintsugi, the art of golden repair. It is the philosophy that the break is part of the history of the object. It makes it more beautiful, not less. I stopped buying upgrades. I started maintaining what I already owned. I polished my old boots. I repaired my torn clothes. When you honor the things you have, the desperate hunger for more suddenly vanishes. Habit number 6, the mercy kill. We all have those items. The gifts we hate but feel guilty keeping. The clothes that might fit someday. We hold on to them because of attachment, because of fear. To fix this, I used the maybe box. I took every single item I was unsure about every maybe, and I put them in a box. I taped it shut. I wrote the date on it, and then I put it away for 30 days. The rule is simple. If I needed something, I could open the box. But if 30 days passed and I hadn't opened it, I donated the box without looking inside. This bypasses the emotion of letting go. It removes the fear of regret. Habit number 7. Yohaku. This is the most important habit and the hardest one to master. Yohaku is the beauty of empty space. We are terrified of emptiness. If there is a blank wall, we want to hang a picture. If there is a moment of silence, we pull out our phones. We try to fill every void because we are afraid to be alone with our thoughts. I stopped trying to fill the silence, cleared surfaces and left them empty. I sat in my room without music, without podcasts, without distraction. At first, it was uncomfortable, but then it became peaceful. I let the emptiness be the art, because it is only in the empty space that you have room to breathe. You do not need to burn your house down to start over. You do not need to move to a monastery. You just need to respect the space between things. The reset is not a destination. You don't finish minimalism. It is a daily practice. It is a choice you make every morning when you wake up. Start with one habit, just one. Start tonight, because the only way to find yourself is to clear the path.